and he got thoroughly beat decision-wise on that fight. I don't know what he was talking about when he said everybody knows he won the fight. Adrian Broner did not win that fight. And by the way, Jim Gray pointed out accurately, he averaged less than 8 punches around. What did I say when I interviewed him last week, huh, Jim? I said, they say you don't throw punches, man. He said it ain't about how many, it's about the right time.
Nice to meet you. I like you. How was it? Amazing. Thank you for the hospitality. Sorry I couldn't come see you with everything going on. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. Let's rewind for a second. How often do boxing legends, warriors who guard their egos like championship belts, unanimously lower their shades, tip their hats, and say, "That guy. Yeah, that guy was built different. Once in a generation. Maybe. But here's the twist. Manny Pacquiao is that generation. Even trainers, grizzled veterans who've seen hundreds of fighters rise and fall like seasonal trends, would light up like starstruck teens the moment Manny stepped into the gym. The sound of those mitts snapping under his gloves. That wasn't training. That was music. Jazz. Chaos set to rhythm. People would stop mid-sentence. Rent discussions paused. Politics forgotten. Because the Southpaw Symphony had begun. Brandon Rios once thought he understood speed, until he met Pacquiao. And Tim Bradley, full of confidence, had to rethink what fast meant. Speed isn't just a number. It's relative. And in Manny's case, it was cosmic. Opponents knew they were in trouble when their best punch landed, and Manny just smiled. You could crack him with an uppercut forged by Zeus himself, and he'd bounce on his toes like he just caught the scent of adobo. You don't fight that kind of man. You survive him. Even the commentators, professional, composed, trained to deliver play-by-play with precision, would lose it. They mispronounced names. Talked over each other. They sounded more like bleacher fans than analysts. Because calling a Pacquiao fight was like trying to narrate a wildfire. Too fast. Too dangerous. Too beautiful. And then there was the movement. Manny didn't just throw punches, he launched missiles with momentum. His angles were so sharp they should have come with warning labels. He didn't charge forward. He darted, zigzagged, vanished. If you blinked, he was behind you. Blink again, and you're on the canvas, staring at the lights, wondering if you slipped or got hit by a comet. He had calves carved from steel and feet that moved like lightning on espresso. He didn't fight in straight lines. He danced between dimensions. And then he smiled. That's what broke people. They trained for a monster. Instead, they found a grinning storm with god-tier reflexes. A man who looked like he'd helped fix your car, right after fracturing your ribs. Trainers tried to prepare for him. We've got a plan for his speed, they'd say. We've got a southpaw strategy. But the moment that bell rang, and Manny started zipping around like a pinball fueled by Red Bull, all that training, it became...
Congratulations, this is a beautiful gym. I hope that there's a lot of people will inspire to train here. Thank you. Congrats. Mike, congrats, congratulations. Yes, beautiful. I'm here to support you. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
Warm-up for a beatdown. Some even tried trash talk. Bad idea. Trash talk takes time. And time is a luxury Manny didn't give. By the time you finished your first insult, he'd already hit you 4 times, switched stances, and winked at your trainer. You don't insult the storm. You board up your windows and pray. He's faster than me. Really? Are you serious? Yes. He was. Because in the history of boxing, very few have aged like fine wine. Most fighters collect damage like rust on old cars. But not Manny. He adapted. He evolved. In his 30s, he was outpacing fighters a decade younger, and making it look casual, not just possible. And sure, some skeptics point to his losses. But that's the difference. While others were padding records like overzealous accountants, Pacquiao was fighting killers. He didn't duck. He dived in. He faced men with size, reach, youth, and entire labs of sports science behind them. What did he bring? Speed, power, instinct, and a smile that said, "Try me." And when the dust cleared, they were left blinking, mentally, physically, spiritually, trying to process how someone so kind just served them a beating that would echo in their bones for years. Even legends couldn't hide their awe. One trainer, after wrapping Pacquiao's hands, held one and said, "Had I not seen him wrap that hand, I'd have asked him to do it again. It felt like steel. Let's not even get started on his balance. Mid-air, pivoting, dodging, and still landing flush, like a gymnast and a sniper merged into one. That's not training. That's divine.
But, you know.
They have shuttles. Yeah, they have shuttles, bro. Just in case.
Shane.
No, Shane took everything.
Because I'm sure mentally you prepared, as well as physically prepared Shane.
I remember one thing. I remember him wrapping his hands. Pacquiao.
Because he wraps his own hands. I remember. Yeah.
And he kept asking me.
Programming. Manny didn't box to win rounds. He boxed to bend physics. Some called it unorthodox. Others called it miraculous. His opponents, they just called it a blur. And historians, they started carving his name into granite before he ever retired. When you talk Ali, Tyson, Duran, Sugar Ray, what did they all have? Charisma, unpredictability, artistry dipped in violence. Manny had all that, plus humility. He wasn't boxing to show off. He was boxing because it was the only way his soul could scream. That's why the legends praise him. Because real recognize real. Scars recognize scars. And those who shared the ring with Manny, they left with stories. And x-rays. And just when you thought he was done, Senate seat in hand, legacy secure, he came back. Because for Pacquiao, retirement wasn't the end. It was intermission. The curtain hadn't fallen. It had just paused for breath. And now, he's lacing up again. The 2024 comeback isn't nostalgia. It's not PR. It's unfinished business. One final chapter. One last hurricane. One more symphony in the ring. Whether you've been watching since his flyweight days, or just now found this story, know this. This is history in motion. A man whose fists wrote poetry is picking up the pen again. And when he steps through those ropes, it won't just be a fight. It'll be a moment. A moment you'll tell your grandkids about. A moment when time stood still, and Manny Pacquiao danced again. He left legends questioning everything. Every punch Manny Pacquiao landed wasn't just fast, it was surgical. Oscar de la Hoya, a fighter who had faced the best of the best, suddenly couldn't breathe, couldn't move, and, like a tragic Shakespeare...
It kind of shocked me because Pacquiao tends to lead with his head, which is how Marquez got him in that third fight.
Correct.
But he was quicker.
He was quicker. He was predictably more aggressive. He connected more. That 8th and 9th round, he was all over Adrian Broner. All over.
Shakespearean figure admitted something no proud warrior ever wants to say. He knew it was over before it began. That night wasn't just a loss. It was an exorcism. Pacquiao didn't just beat de la Hoya, he erased him from relevance. And that's the thing about Manny. He didn't just break you with his fists. He dismantled you with movement, rhythm, and angles. He turned boxing matches into symphonies, and his opponents into helpless conductors being led straight off a cliff. Even Floyd Mayweather, the untouchable maestro of defense, gave Manny his due, not in front of the cameras, but in rare, honest moments. Manny, he admitted, might have been the best he'd ever faced. That's not a light statement from a man who could dodge bullets with shoulder rolls. Because Pacquiao's footwork, his timing, his unorthodox angles, they didn't just happen. They flowed. Like jazz. Brutal, beautiful jazz. Then there's Joshua Clottey, a man who, for some reason, thought he could weather the storm with nothing.
Also has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Think about, by the way, I don't think he wins that argument. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position. But Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, Sam Langford, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, whoever else you want.
But ego and a tight guard. He didn't just lose. He folded, like cheap origami. Years later, Clottey basically confirmed what we all knew. He was underpaid, underprepared, and completely outclassed. Manny's punches came in swarms, machine gun flurries from every direction. Clottey wasn't trying to win. He was trying to survive. But Pacquiao didn't just humble fighters, he forced them to rethink their careers. Take Keith Thurman. He came in loud, proud, undefeated, calling himself the new king of the welterweights. But Manny, a 40-year-old Manny, treated him like a warm-up. One knockdown, then another. And while Thurman fought back with heart, he couldn't do what so many couldn't. Solve the puzzle. Pacquiao's speed, his timing, that violent left hand. By the time you figured out what was coming, he was already gone, setting up the next ambush. Even broadcasters struggled to stay objective. Max Kellerman, a man known for stats, logic, and calm analysis, nearly exploded on air trying to describe how absurd Manny's rise was. From flyweight all the way to welterweight, winning lineal championships at every stop. That's like a chess player winning world titles with every single piece on the board. No one had done it before. No one's done it since. And odds are, no one ever will. Even Robert Garcia, one of boxing's sharpest minds, didn't flinch when he compared Manny's 8-division feat to Mayweather's perfect record. The undefeated record? Impressive. But you can protect that with careful matchmaking. 8 divisions. That's not protecting anything. That's charging into battle again and again, against anyone, anywhere, and still walking out with your arms raised. And then there's Antonio Margarito, a man who thought size would save him. He believed being the bigger fighter meant something. But Pacquiao made him look like a slow-moving statue. Punch after punch, round after...
What was wrong with Adrian Broner post-fight saying he won that fight against Pacquiao? Hell no, he did not. He did not win that fight. Pacquiao was all over him.
We don't have our own house, we don't have land, we don't have even food. We just, we have to work every day to make money to buy food.
What happens?
Around, Manny painted Margarito's face with leather. By the end, he wasn't just beaten, he was medically rearranged. Broken bones. A shattered spirit. And the myth of size advantage, completely annihilated. Even Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, didn't hesitate. Pacquiao wasn't just great, he was sensational. Watching him was like seeing someone who'd hacked the rules of boxing and rewritten the entire code. And Bob Arum, the legendary promoter who's seen everyone from Ali to Tyson, never hid his awe. In Manny, he saw more than just a fighter. He saw a movement. A spirit. A man who lifted nations, broke barriers, and became a global symbol, using nothing but gloves, grit, and a smile. And when we talk about greatness, we can't ignore the mythical question, pound for pound, who was the best? Even those who favor Mayweather can't deny the truth. When a man moves 7 weight classes up and still dominates elite competition, what does that say about his prime? That's not just a fighter. That's a phenomenon. Timothy Bradley, who fought both Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, said it best. Manny wasn't just fast. He was instinct. A living reflex machine. He didn't react, he anticipated. While you were throwing your first jab, Manny was landing his third. And let's not forget the psychology of it all. He smiled. He laughed. He looked like a choir boy. Then he broke your ribs. That contradiction, the soft-spoken gentleman outside the ring, and the merciless storm inside it, left opponents rattled and unbalanced. You couldn't hate him. And when you can't hate the guy who's beating you down, it hits different. That's Pacquiao. The smiling assassin. The human typhoon. The myth who walked among mortals, and left them forever changed.